Hello everyone. In this session, I will create one form and I will show you how to validate and submit your form. Now, I can validate my form at two places. The first one is at client side. Okay, client side form validation. Now, what is client side? Data users enter into form in correct format. Okay, but obviously if form is telling you to submit a file, then it should be a file of proper format. Okay, for example, if there is a message, upload your photo. Okay, so that file should be photo only. It is not like that your website is accepting other than photos extension. Okay, for example video, or I can say just other files. Okay, so it should not be happen. If there is a phone number, then if there is one field phone number, then it should be number only. Okay, like that. So this is a client side form validation before you submit your data to actual server. Okay, now why it is important? Because as I tell you, if there is a number, then it should be number, so that your application work in fluent manner. Okay, now there is another validation is also there, that is sending form data. That means I have fill all the fields, okay, in properly with proper format as specified. Now I want to send this data to my server, okay, where this data should be processed. So over here there is also you can perform validation when a user submit a form. Now how you can in what parameter you validate, where does the data go, how do we handle it, and to when it gets, and some of other security concern associated with sending form data. Now let's first see client side form validation. Okay, so there are two types of a client side validation that you can integrate with your web application. The first one is a built-in form validation. Now this kind of validation is provided by HTML5 itself. Okay, now it has better performance than JavaScript. After that, over here it is not customizable with compared to JavaScript validation. You can also validate it using JavaScript. Let's just like this. Okay, now JavaScript, it is more customizable. JavaScript validation is more customizable. You can create it all. Okay, you can use library over there, you can use functions, method, like that. One of the most significant feature of HTML5 from controls is the ability to validate most user data without depending on JavaScript. So how do we validate our form using HTML5? So the answer is using attributes. There are various attributes that will help you to validate your data. Okay, so first one is required. If you have seen many times that whenever you filled a form and by mistake you just forgot to fill that specified field, okay, and whenever you click on submit button, then browser will tell you please fill up this field, okay, like that. So there is a required attribute behind that scene which specify a form field needs to be filled before the form can be submitted. After that, minimum length and maximum length, okay, and abbreviation is attribute is minimum length, mean length, and max length. Okay, generally whenever there is a textual kind of input, for example you have to submit one URL, or I can say if just a 2 to 3 line of text, okay, then you can use this attribute to specify a minimum length or maximum length of text data. After that, for number itself, for example if I am for example the semester, okay, and this is for higher semester only, this field is, then you can apply minimum and maximum attribute for that particular field. For example, those students who are in first year, that means semester 1 and 2, they are not allowed to fill that particular activity. Okay, so there should be one minimum requirement, that is minimum is equals to 3. That means from third semester student can apply for it. 1 and 2 are not allowed, okay, because we have set minimum is equals to 3. As just like same, you can also specify max. That means max is equals to 6. That means 3 to 6. 3 to 6 are allowed, but more than 6 is not allowed. After that, type, which specify whether data needs to be a number, an email, or address, or something like that. Okay, just we have commonly used our text, password, after that number. Okay, so these are the types that frequently used in form. After that, pattern, okay, which specify a regular expression that define a patterns the entered data needs to be follow. It is also there if your form required this kind of specification, then also you can set regular expression using HTML5. Okay, now look at this example over here. This one is my form. Okay, this is my form tag. Okay, form tag. And now inside this form I have used some tag for, like, for example, able input. I will show you and demonstrate you to how to create form. Okay, I will in form I will include all the necessary fields. Okay, so don't worry about this, or just look at this. Type is equals to text. Okay, and there is also minimum length is equals to 6, maximum length is equal to 6. That means it should be 6 character only. After that, over here you can see that this one is a type is equals to number. Okay, so over here there is a max is equals to 10, minimum is equals to 1. Okay, so this is example. Now let's see client side validating. Okay, that means how to send the data. So over client side, when you send data, there is one attribute that is called action attribute, which defines where the data gets sent. Okay, over there you have to mention a page. It can be of PHP page or it can be HTML page. Okay, where whenever user submit, but whenever you click on submit, then all the data it will be proceed for that page. Its value must be valid relative or absolute URL. Okay, as I told you, it should be URL. If this attribute is not provided, a data will be sent to the URL of page containing the form. That means your current page. Now another attribute which is used to validate your data to send the data. Okay, so this is a method attribute which define how the data is sent.